Yoo-hoo! It's the time for package from China. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. In today's video we are going to be doing chit chat about this very tiny package from China. So there are many different ways to play when it comes to the Sega Genesis or Megadrive. But in today's video we're going to be chit chatting about the MD Flash Master and quick start guide that comes with it. But let's take a close look at that later on. So when it comes to flash cards, there are many different ways. Personally, if you just have some money to spend, Grit is, if I'm even pronouncing that name correctly, is actually the original one and the best one to get. However, if you just want to find a really cheap and easy way, yeah, this isn't one of those many ways, because you can just pick these things up for around like $50 now. It's just insane if you think about it. So in here we're finding the SD card. Yeah, you can add all kinds of SD cards if you want to. So let's see what's actually implemented. Oh man, they're using these cheap things. I'm not going to be using this for long. I'm going to be replacing that with an SanDisk. You can use a couple of gigs because yeah, the files you're going to be using on here are very small. So the overall quality of the shell are going to be so much better. If you're going to be looking at let's see the shells that we have seen with those fake games I've reviewed here on the channel. Yeah, with the money of the $15, they're not going to be putting the sticker on. So yeah, that's going to be a different adventure. But let's take a close look at the manual, the toilet paper manual like always. The MD Flash Master that I have to call this. Yeah, it's kind of cool that they're going to give you this. So S version 36, firm version 12. So we're going to be using the FAT16 or FAT32 system for the SD cards. So let's see if you have some problems, some other questions regarding setting up the SD card. You can just actually find everything in here. So let's see how to make, and you have a game card, how to start the game and everything else, and everything is just explained in here, but cheats are not supported. So that's something that a lot of people were asking me in the past. And so let's see what we have over here. Hard reset can be enabled and all kinds of different modes. So, but when it comes to the flash card, we have reviewed a lot of different versions. And yeah, when it comes to these devices, yeah, $15, I think for that money, we cannot really complain. And thinking it's going to be an instant flash EverDrive. So let's boot it up and let's plug it in and let's see what we can actually do with this. So for today's video, we're going to be using the Megadrive number 2 edition. And yeah, this is going to be the configuration that we're going to be using today. So plug this thing in, it will, I did notice that it's going to be feeling a little bit slightly different. You can also use this just normally, of course, on the Megadrive 1 or Megadrive 2. So let's fit it in and let's pull it out. That seems to be feeling all right. So, but when it comes to this, like, you need the 32X, even if you're going to be loading up files through the flash card. Yep, we're going to be needing the 32X. So it is not the magical cartridge that we sometimes see that can also play Sega CD. No, we cannot do that with these cheap devices. And for connectivity, we're going to be using the RGBS upscaler from the RetroScaler. Yeah, this is not the best way, but I think this is going to be just a convenient way to play. But let's get into the game and let's see how does this cartridge actually work, because yeah, this is getting some really slow like loading times. I must say I'm quite surprised, of course, depending when it comes to the size and the speed of cell. So you need to wait a little bit, but it's not that bad when it comes to that. But how does it actually work? So when it comes to playing games, this works quite easy. If you're going to be resetting it, it will reset the game itself. If you're going to be turning it off and on, then we're going to be having the menu itself. And in here we're having all kinds of cool options. So first of all, we're having play game. So this is actually the game that I just loaded in. So if you want to load up a game, you need to go to the select game. And in here we're going to be finding all of the stuff that you can add yourself if you want to. So let's do a quick overview. So first of all, we're having the European, all kinds of different stuff in here. And there's even a Sega Master System. So, but for the Sega Master System, what I understand, you're going to be needing actually the Master System converter. Yep, that is one of the things that you need to take consideration. Let's show you. Let's start it. Let's press start. You can see it shows ROM type, Sega Master System. This is a very small, let's say, file, so it loads up quite fast. But trying to get in the game, nothing boots, because it's actually trying to boot up a Sega Master System game on a Megadrive, and that doesn't work. So that's one of the things they need to take consideration. So we need to have the converter. But let's move on to the select game. So in here we're having all kinds of different types. So involving the others, And yeah, just having all kinds of files. So over here having the 32x. So this may be a fun thing to showcase. Let's load up a 32x game. We do have the 32x, like say, implemented, so that's kind of cool. So let's see what kind of different games. Oh man, a lot of double stuff on here. But let's load up, let's say the European version of the Knuckle Chaotix. It's a massive size, so we're going to be loading this up and we're going to see how long it's going to be taking. Because this is a very big file and the loading time is going to be slower and longer. So it's still erasing. Yeah, that's the thing, that it still needs the time, not only like writing it to the chip, it's also going to be erasing it. And yeah, so then we're finally going to be start copying it, where the Sega Master System was like almost instant. You can see this takes some time. So in this way we can just play, but we do need to get myself something to drink. Yep, and that is what we're going to be doing. Tea time! But even in $15, let's say, flash card, it is possible to freaking, let's say, get yourself some 32x game going on. So that is kind of cool when it comes to that. And now we can actually boot it up. However, if you're going to be loading up a new game, it's going to be taking a freaking long time. So then is the question, what do you think of that? Is it not maybe better to spend more money on a more expensive Everdrive and then actually play those games almost instantly? And we need to look into the more expensive Everdrive from Cardridge, and those are like way much more money, but I think it's absolutely worth it, particularly when you're going to be loading up, let's say, bigger files like this. But again, it's kind of cool, they can actually load it up. Let's turn it on and off and let's go further with the list and what you can do more with it. But I wanted to do a quick look into the options over here. There is nothing much you can actually do because this is a very basic flash card, hard reset, Genie 3 mode, SROM auto backup and region free. That can be turned on and off. We do have the cheat, so the manual doesn't say that like there's cheat, but you do have like enter GG codes, so you can maybe mess around with it if you want to. But yeah, I would not like think that it's going to be working out. If the manual says it doesn't, I think it's not going to be working. And here having the SRAM, the saving and loading device information, where we can just check what kind of system we're actually going to be using, and that's kind of interesting. But beside that, let's go into the select game. Here we can put all the folder with hack games. If you want to change out, like you want to add like new games, you can actually do that in this folder. New. This is, for example, the return of the Fighters 2019 model. So, and that's one of the things I think it's just freaking awesome, that we have all kinds of, let's say, hacked games you can put on a flash card, and this way you can just play fairly easy. But again, erasing, I think the part of erasing, that takes freaking forever. It's not leaving like loading up, it's just freaking erasing. Okay, there we go, finally. So it erased the 32x. Now we're going to be loading up an file for the Sega Genesis, and again, like you have smaller games, those will be way faster. But again, let's drink some tea in the meantime, because this is taking forever. But if you're going to be loading up in an, let's say, an original PAL system I'm having over here, and you're going to be loading up a game that was not intended to play for that region, we do have this unfortunate message. So it also indicates that the region free mode doesn't work, if you ask me. But let's say I messed it up, I actually like loaded up the wrong ROM. We're going to be needing to wait again with erasing and loading up. Man, I completely forgot to look up how big the file was, but I think it's almost the same size like the Street of Rage game. Almost, because it is like loading way faster than before. Oh man, going back to PAL games. Man, they sound so freaking slow. But beside that point, yeah, if you're going to be, let's say, playing a certain game all the freaking time, you can just keep pressing start. And what do I mean with that? You can just actually like play very quickly. So let's say you turn it on and off. You remember, hey, I just wanted to boot up the Turtle game again. It's still loaded up, play game, and will automatically load up instantly in the cartridge and the game itself. So let's say let's load up a 512 file, and this is going to be similar, I think, going similar to the, let's say, Master System. And here you can see like this is not a problem at all. For me, that is not going to be, let's say, a deal breaker when it comes to that. And if you can see the flickering of the screen or some weird thing going on like that, this is something to do with the freaking like a retro upscale HDMI solution. Yeah, besides that, this seems to be working all fine. And I do want like, which button do I not need to press? Was it C or A? Oh crap, yeah, it was the A button. Ah crap. Oh, it has been so long time that I've played this game. So we have seen all kinds of different flashcards when it comes to, let's say, Sega from AliExpress stuff. But I think this is something that's kind of interesting that you can pick up for $15 now. That is really cheap. But if you want to have quality, you are going to be building yourself the ultimate Sega Power, the Tower of Power. And I wouldn't like, say, get something like this for $15. I just like buy, I say, an original one from Crit and have like way faster loading times. Because if you can see, like with the bigger, like the 32X or the bigger files, it will take up a lot of time. But if you don't mind, this would be one of those many ways you could play. Thank you all for watching. Consider subscribing, and it would be great to see you in the next video. And maybe let's put this freaking sticker on.